Good evening. This interview with Pastor Emeritus, Pastor Bishop, the presiding prelate of the Southern Hemisphere of Heaven, Keith Cornelius. Thank you for taking the time out this evening.
Thank you, sir.
You don't mind just ask you a few questions concerning how you see the church and what direction the church is going into today.
Sure.
Our first question I want to ask you: what excites you about getting into ministry right now?
I think about getting into ministry now. What really excites me is being able to serve individuals. I think serving people, not only just locally but globally, is one of the greatest things you can do for the church right now. Because it's hurt all over, particularly in our communities, locally, nationally, internationally. The same hurt is the same pain is all over the globe. People are looking for answers. They're hurting. Their families hurting. And they're wanting some direction. I think that the biggest part of the ministry now is just serving God's people.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Pastor. How do you see ministry changing right now, and how do you envision being a part of that change?
The ministry is changing now because people want the ministry to be out in the streets. They want to come from behind the walls into the community. The dynamics of it's changing. We used to have church and folks flock to the church. Now the church have to flock to the people.
All right.
And that's kind of a difficult transition now because you have old traditional ways where folks have not experienced an evangelistic type of a church. They didn't mind the people coming to the church, but there seemed to be a lot of hesitance of us going to the people and ministering to the people. So the ministry is changing if we want to reach those 30 to 40% of unchurched individuals that are out there looking for something different than coming in the church like grandma and grandpa did. So the dynamics of it changing. The ministers have to be flexible enough and have vision enough to see that. If they have a choice, or if they have a congregation that is old-fashioned, then they're going to have to be able to address the old-fashioned Christian and the new wave Christian at the same time. And that could be a difficult task because, when the church begins to pay you, they somehow have a foothold on you, on what you're going to do or not do. So you have to set the vision, set the mark, and preach that Christ ministered not just in the church, but outside the church.
All right. Thank you. All right, Pastor's last question for the evening. In some ways, it seems like a hard time for the church in the United States. What are the challenges that you are excited to help the church address?
I don't know too much about outside the African American church, African Methodist or African American churches, but it seems like it appears that churches are struggling with debt. It appears that the individuals in the church is struggling with debt. Not only the church itself, but the congregants are struggling with debt. So I think one of the biggest waves or challenges that are going on, or hardship, is how do we manage the church finances as a church and as an individual so that folks can tithe the way that the old saints used to tithe. And that's an issue that we have to address through workshops and through seminars and through scripture, Bible study, and preaching. I mean, we just can't preach it at them. We have to get down with the people and begin to break bread with them at a level where they can understand why did the scripture say give 10%? Why do you have to don't live within your means? Bless you. Why do you have to live within your means and not over your means? So things like that is what I believe is the hard core, the hard questions that we need to ask in the church.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm sorry about messing up the interview, allergies and everything messing up.
Oh, brother. I got them too, so don't worry about it. I'll be sneezing like crazy.
But that's it. I do appreciate you taking this time out. Once again, Pastor Keith, it's been a delight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.